What's up, historians and fellow Magic dorks? The recent Anthology drop has given rise to some fun new decks and shaken up the meta. So now that a couple weeks have passed, let's take a look at some of these new decks that have crept up in both the Historic and Explorer metas in this week's new and exciting, but still feels like home episode of Mana Rant. But first, I'm Hoshi, a man who rants, raves, and roars reliable rhetoric in regards to Siege Rhinos. And you are listening to episode 91 of the Mana Rant podcast, where, like always, I am joined by a man who's back on the show after receiving his fifth crippling groin injury from that freak electric unicycle accident that he endured last week. Please welcome back our fragile groined friend, Drunken Dork.
Fragile groin friend is true. Yeah, I did not actually tear my groin again because I have been such a wimp about riding that thing. I haven't ridden it to work in in about 3 weeks now. Really, I was on vacation. I was enjoying myself because it was much needed. I'm glad to be back, though. It's funny. We do this podcast bi-weekly now. We used to do it weekly. Mm-hmm. But I miss it. I enjoy this. I really do enjoy doing the podcast. Especially when you're missing out on some of the best content, that you can talk about on podcasts, and that's the Explorer Anthology and Historic Anthology releases. I'm glad I'm here now to talk about the meta shifting after, but it's glad to be back. Yep,
that's good.
My groin is feeling better. My glass groin, it is feeling a little better. I picture you when you get on your unicycle thing, you're you put on one of those cups that you wear for sports and stuff, but you're wearing it on the outside of your pants. You're helmet, get my cup. Well, really, right before I get on, I take Ben Gay Tiger Balm, and I slather my nutsack in that shit.
Oh no!
And,
all right.
And so there's just a wafty wave of those scent lines trailing behind me of Ben Gay.
I immediately regret talking about this. All right.
It burns like hell, but it's a good burn.
And finally, like always, we have a man who is holding our custom sliver cards hostage. But little does he know, slivers don't negotiate with terrorizers. Release the photos of the cards, and there will be consequences for you. Our dear co-host, Michael Apollo.
What is up, everyone? Yes, I am holding him hostage.
Yeah, what the fuck,
and
man?
That is actually a good idea. I will post those pictures, but you will only see them if you join our Discord. Last podcast we had one of our fellow dorks, Mythwind. He sent in a really cool custom sliver deck, EDH deck, and yeah, it's badass. I want to post them, and I think we're gonna do a gameplay too, right?
Whenever we can work that out.
Yeah, times are tough, but I absolutely. I mean, first of all, just playing Commander in general sounds great, but I would love to see those cards, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're sexy.
Nice.
But yeah, good to be back.
Sweet. Anyways, welcome back to the show, and thank you for joining us. We are the Mana Dorks, and this is the Mana Rant podcast, where we talk about everything in Magic the Gathering, but we mainly focus on Arena and all the new stuff coming up in Historic and Explorer. And our show moves through the segments of Magic, all the phases, and the main phases are going to be the main topics of the show, which tonight is going to be all of the new decks and everything that are popping up in the meta. There will be a full breakdown in the episode description if you want to hop around with timestamps and everything. But, with no further ado, let's just jump straight into the show with our first phase, which is the untap phase.
Untap.
And untap is where we untap some drinks real quick that we're going to be enjoying during the show. So, Drunken, welcome back. What are you untapping?
Well, so actually, I have work tonight. So I got fake news, dude. I don't know if you guys have gone to a Total Wine or Bevmo or whatever recently, and ever looked in the non-alcoholic section.
I didn't know they had one.
So I know. Anyway, there must be this new craze or trend or whatever of making like real beer that is non-alcoholic. So like I got a pale ale, but like I was looking through, they had like IPAs, they had different kinds of lagers, they had a peanut butter stout that was non-alcoholic. What? I was like, what the heck? And they taste good. That's the crazy thing. Is like I tried one, I was like, damn, this is fucking bomb. And so as they call me,
so you can just drink those at work, basically.
No. I just like I got it to try it to like because they're like 30 calories or something too, and I like the flavor of beer.
Yeah.
So it's just like a good easy drink. If I'm like, I'll have a beer and then I'll have a fake beer.
But if there's no alcohol, you could technically just drink it at work, right?
I think there's like 0.005 or something.
Still, that's like mouthwash, you know? So.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Basically, I'm drinking mouthwash. So, yeah. You can call me good old drunken fake news dork. I don't know.
Yeah, good job. We'll definitely do that. All right.
Yeah.
Apollo, what are you tapping?
I'm just keeping it light this week. I'm going with the Topo Chico hard seltzer, spiked sparkling water, tangy, lemon lime.
My wife loves those.
Yeah.
My wife.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah. My wife, I like them too, actually. I like drink seltzers all the time.
Female lady, you know. So I hear the real popular with the lady.
Bro, it's dude, the Zoomers are all about it, man. You gotta dab on it, bro.
You know, you gotta save the calories where you can. Don't start with your Zoomer talk. And then for me, I have a hibiscus habanero margarita right here with
that sounds incredible.
Oh, dude, it's great, and it's got some homemade habanero salt that we smoked on our smoker around the rim. Oh man,
nice.
Damn.
You'll have to send me that recipe. I want some smoked salt.
Dude, Jamie went nuts last week because I was like, some custom salts would be cool, and she's just like, done. Like a couple hours later, we had some custom salts. So, dude, they're great. Oh man,
dude, I'm telling you, this tastes just like a fucking pale ale.
That's crazy. That
is my mind right now.
All right, well, cheers, boys, to a good episode, and to everybody out there. Cheers. And with that, we'll move into our upkeep. Upkeep, get ya upkeep. And upkeep is our Reddit rant segment. And Reddit rant is where we look to the internet for people bitching, complaining, and just straight up crying about Magic the Gathering. And I think I got a good one this week, and this is coming from Reddit. And it's coming from the Magic Arena subreddit, and this is from Fallout Boy 5000. It's Fallout Boy 5000 says, "Legalize Bolt and Historic, you cowards." So this is some crying red deck. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the internet recently, but red players are crying their eyes out over the last anthologies. They're like, we didn't get Swift Spear and we didn't get Eidolon and boo-hoo. so this guy, he's at his wit's end with, red not getting some love for once in his life. So here we go. Legalize Bolt and Historic, you cowards. Okay, I think it's about time. Historic is getting really strong. Solid point at the moment. The latest anthologies introduced a bunch of strong cards for several archetypes, but we're sorely lacking in the red department. We didn't get any sweepers nor Eidolon like many of us had hoped. Mono red is so weak in spell slinging that I can hardly even say that. It's so red and so weak in spell slinging that most played version is actually a creature heavy Embercleave deck, and the true burn deck is in fact in Izzet colors. So I believe the case should be made for the entrance of Bolt in the format. I get the feeling that Arena is kind of very low-key building up towards Old Modern, and as such, Bolt and Bob are the cards I would like to see the most. Wah. So, Drunken, what do you think? Do you think Bolt should be legalized?
Well, first of all, this has 247 likes,
Yeah,
and if you ever go on the Reddit, the historic Reddit, that's
Yeah.
impossible. Dude. So, like
This
the
is
fact
bots.
that this
Bots
person,
for sure, yeah.
the fact that this person got 247 likes means a lot of people are on fucking board with this, which.
A lot of red players out there. Yeah.
I actually, this is a bit whiny and fucking, stop being such a crybaby. It'll probably come eventually. Enjoy what you have. It's a shifting format. You know what I mean? Like, let's enjoy this Is It Burn for the time being. And eventually when we get Bolt and Bob, hopefully, I fucking would love, absolutely love to get Bob. Then you can get your mono red burn deck, you big fucking whiny baby.
Apollo, what do you think?
Yikes. I actually completely agree with Bolt being in historic, but not for any of the reasons this guy is saying.
Yeah.
This guy is just like crying, like mono red's weak. No, it's not. It's like consistently been tier 1 forever.
Yeah.
And then like saying Is It Burn's the only way to play? Also incorrect. Boros Burn with Lightning Helix.
That's true.
Hello.
Good point.
I would say that one actually fares better than Is It. And then 2, you can't have Eidolon, you can't have Bolt, you can't have Monastery Swiftspear unless other cards can counteract it. That's what makes modern. So you can't just have those cards, because otherwise it would be a fucking format of control and mono red. Like that would be it. Like so even though I do want Bolt, you would have to include cards that counteract Bolt that are currently in modern, right? If that's the argument he's saying.
It's hard to counteract
like that
Bolt,
core. I forget that core creature, but it's like double white. Whenever a player casts a red spell, you gain 1 life. That's a great sideboard option that's in modern, because Bolt exists. So if you're going to have Bolt, which I do think they should have Bolt, but not just Bolt, cards that counteract Bolt as well.
I think Bolt would be okay in best of 3, but I think in best of 1 it's too powerful, right? Because you can't really sideboard properly against it. Or you can't sideboard at all in best of 1 against it. And Bolt is just such like a there's no downside to it. It's just super powerful. You can hit face, you can hit whatever with it for 1 mana. So I just feel like it's pretty strong. There's no like
downside to it. Is like it's only it does 3 damage and it's 1 mana and then it's gone forever unless you have a way to recur it. But you bring up a perfect point, Hoshi. That's exactly what I was going to say. Actually, is like I think maybe this person is talking about best of 3, and in that scenario, I think introduction of Bolt would be good. In best of 1, it makes a huge impact on the format, I think. So, you have to look at every aspect of it.
Also,
that's a really great point, because like you would have to main board Shadow Spear, right? Like you would have to. Like every deck would have to have life gain.
Yeah,
and Shadow Spear is probably like the best way to get life gain. So that wouldn't be good.
Also, mono red is tier 1 in historic right now, and the number 1 mythic player is playing mono red. So I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. It's tier 1 and in the top most played decks of historic and explorer. So
they're
and
just
boo-hoo, that card that they say is like super weak. Jalea is actually the reason why
Jalea
it's even more over the top.
Insane. The new one that just came out in the Anthology.
I've been running against her.
Well, we didn't get anything except for a very, very good card that gives us fucking card draw. And
this person's just crabby because they're like, I want my modern burn red deck with Goblin Guide and Eidolon and I don't want to fucking Bolt, Swift Spear.
I don't want to play creatures. I just want to go whap, 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 face, 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 dead. All right, good. I didn't have to do 0 thinking, and now I'm happy red player.
Yeah.
Not everyone could be a sophisticated big red player like me and
Oh my God. No.
many of the other players on our Discord,
No.
so yeah. Anyways. So that was Reddit rant. Maybe we were a little too hard on the whiny burn players, but okay, good.
No.
I didn't think so. All right. So with that, let's move on to our draw phase.
Let's draw.
And in draw, it is our MTG News, hosted by our groin-pulling, big-headed host, Drunken Dork, who's back.
What is up, everyone? This is MTG News and the draw phase where we talk about all kinds of stuff that's not necessarily news. But I'm going to go over the news first because we got some. So first and foremost, Arena is introducing next week for from August 11th through August 14th, this new format, player-created Gladiator, which is a 100-card singleton format. And it's best of 3 with like very few banned cards, if not no banned cards.
Yeah, there's a few. There's Field of the Dead, Natural Order, Nexus of Fate, Oko, because of course, and Teferi Time Raveler.
Okay. Yeah, so that's coming in, and like they're kind of like play testing this. I don't know if you guys remember a lot. I'm gonna always pat myself on the back when I see shit like this. A long time ago, I was like, you know what Arena should do? They should introduce interesting formats into a segment of the week where you can play them, and then if they're popular, they can introduce them permanently. Well, they're kind of doing that in a way, and they're doing this. So big news there. Are you guys excited about this? Does Gladiator appease you at all? Your fucking nerdiness of Brawl and stuff?
I don't, kind of. The only thing that I am a little apprehensive about is the best of 3 aspect of it. Might take a while, because a lot of the times I'm just like, I want to play quick games. So, I am excited about it. Just like, I'll have to know that like I don't have anything to do for a while, before I queue up for one of these games. But yeah, it sounds fun. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to try it, but I think I agree with Hoshi. The best of 3 aspect seems a little odd. I mean, that's the whole point of like Commander or Singleton, right? Like, that's the reason why it's not best of 3.
Yeah, I think I think it's weird because there's no sideboard, but it's a best of 3.
Yeah,
like that's kind of the whole point of best of 3 is being able to like move stuff in and out. So I don't know. Maybe just so one person gets to go first after, I guess.
I don't like, to me this is like not interesting at all. Like I don't like, if it was a 60 card singleton, I'd be really happy about it, even if it was best of 3, just because I enjoy 60 card singleton. But you don't have a commander, which is fine, right? It's just a singleton deck. I don't care. Next on the news list, Chalice of the Void banned in Historic Brawl. We're continuing the singleton discussion. This was leaked already. Someone read this when they were fucking fucking mining or whatever, data mining. And someone found this information. What do you guys think of Chalice of the Void being banned in Brawl? It's funny because I saw this data mined already, and then I listened to your guys's when you did the episode without me, and you were talking about this card and Brawl. You're like, basically the historic anthology seems good, except maybe Chalice of the Void will be good in historic. Everything else is just for Brawl, and it's like this is the one card that got banned in the Brawl.
Well, that's because all the Kinnan players probably just cried their eyes out with like I feel like 90% of the historic Brawl meta is like people just playing Kinnan and jerking themselves off for like 20 minutes, and so they were probably like, wee. They're like, fine, we'll ban it.
I hate that deck.
I know, I hate it so much. So maybe that's why. I don't know. Because like, all the 1-drops, right? Kinnan like just plays so many 1-drops, or maybe you play for 4 and then stop them from playing their commander or something. So I don't know.
I mean, in EDH, it's fair, right? Like, because there's ways to deal with it, but the card pool is just not deep enough. So I understand why. not being able to play your commander is oppressive. And Wizards has like firmly stated that they will not do that for any of the singleton formats. Like they will not have cards that forbid you from playing your commander. So yeah, it's a fair choice until the card pool gets like more in depth, then maybe they'll unban it. But yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, you know, I know there's some people who are probably upset about it, but I can see why.
All right. Cool. Right. And then finally, we have Alchemy rebalancing, which, you know, Alchemy sucks. It's a dumpster fire. Nobody cares.
Fun, yeah. But it affects the story.
None of these cards that are getting rebalance affect Historic, I think.
Interesting.
But there are, like, the majority of the cards, like, if you want to go look at it, yeah, go. If you're watching...
It says Alchemy and Historic right here.
Yeah, I know. But they're, like, these cards aren't played in Historic. None of these are... Like
in the top meta,
yeah, like you may see them here and there, but like for the most part, none of them are played. And so, like, if you're interested in that, go check it out. A lot of the cards are getting buffed, honestly. So like maybe it'll interest you in like actually playing these garbage cards that weren't played before.
The first two were some pretty strong ones that got nerfed, which was the whatchamacallit, Gruul ones. Those were pretty good, actually, and fun. And then they were like, no. I guess it's probably really strong in Alchemy, but I would have to pay attention to that format to actually, you know.
Yeah, I would go check out the MTG news if you're interested. Everything else, like, it really, like, nothing's getting affected in the format.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if you have some weird ass jank, you might get affected, but for like everything else is just like commons and uncommons, and they're like not really good ones.
A bunch of little buffs that I don't know. I would have to like really look through those to see if that anything was useful in it. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And that's it. So last part of Draw, we're going to talk about what we've been playing this week. It's midweek Magic, and as you all know, like I say every single time it comes out, Pauper and Artisan are like two of my favorite midweek Magics that we get, and especially when they're in the Historic format. And so this week we have Historic, Artisan, and it's been incredible. I've been playing almost exclusively Artifacts, but and I've been loving it. And I've been fucking powering through, and I've noticed a lot of people are playing Artifact hate in that format right now, just because they're so powerful.
It's so good.
But what about you guys? What have you been playing recently? Are you playing the midweek Magic, Artisan?
I did it, yeah. It was fun.
Nice. What are you playing?
Same thing, Artifacts.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I basically just took my Affinity deck and was like, what is, you know, like, where are the rares? I just cut out all the rares and just filled in the rest of it. And man, it immediately just won like 3 matches in a row. Just beating people to death. It was fun. So that was all I played. I did play it for a while, but I didn't really like try out any other decks. Mainly because I was just destroying everybody with that deck and was like, this deck might be a little too good for Artisan or something. I don't know. Baller? Nice. Or Apollo?
I did the Azorius Heroic.
Oh, okay.
It was like, nice. Utilizing Battlewise Hoplite and
I've been playing
Favorite
against
Hoplite.
That,
yeah.
Been powering through it, man. That's a good deck.
Yeah, I like that deck a lot. I have a gameplay for it too coming up, so stay tuned for that.
Nice.
That's cool.
After Artisan is gone, you will get that Artisan deck. Cool. Anything else? Like any other exciting decks? I know Hoshi has been riding this fucking dumbass horse about this ugly deck that he's been playing. That's complete garbage. Hoshi, do you want to talk about this terrible, awful deck?
Well, I got 2 that I've really been playing. I've been trying to. I love Blink, so I've been trying to make Blink work in Explorer since Explorer's been a thing. It just hasn't been good. It hasn't been reliable. And then the Rhino came out, so I was like, let's try it again, you know. And so I've been playing a like Yorion Blink deck, which has been a lot of fun. It does pretty good, you know. It's definitely like, you know, tier 2, tier 3, like around there, but it's fun. I've been having a blast. So I've done a gameplay on that. I just gotta get it out there, and then I just picked up this big red Fires deck, which is amazing, and I'm definitely doing a video on that one. So stay tuned for that. It's a super cool deck.
And Paula, what anything else outside of midweek?
So I made a gameplay on Mono Blue Spirits.
Nice.
For those who are on our Discord, they know about it. But if you don't, check it out. It's a pretty good gameplay. I did like 8 matches with it. Holy shit, that deck is fucking powerful, dude.
Yeah.
We weren't lying when we said that deck is going to be instant tier 1. Mausoleum Wander is a thing.
Oh, yeah.
That, and then I've been playing Boomer Jund, which we'll talk about later in the episode.
Nice.
And I've been doing insanely well with that. Surprisingly, like, just with the addition of Tarmogoyf, like, but yeah, I'm at like a 75% win rate right now.
Nice.
Really good.
Yeah, and that's in platinum right now too. So, yeah, it's really good. So I've been playing a shit ton of like historic, explore, just kind of bouncing back and forth. Depends, but yeah, really.
Yeah,
good.
I think in pre-production, in pre-production, Apollo and I were talking, and I've been playing more Magic now. Like anytime a new format comes out is when I play a new set comes out is when I play the most. And I have been absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
Like mostly been playing on my phone just because I've been working so much, but I've been playing a shit ton, and I've been playing a whole bunch of different decks, and I can't be happier with the format. It's still the Wild West. You're still seeing crazy ass shit out there. And I'm, and I'm also platinum. So there's like good competitive decks there. You know?
Same. I'm having fun there.
But yeah, that's it for draw. Let's move on.
All right.
Main phase 1.
All right, so in main phase, we are going to be talking about some decks that we've been seeing pop up on the ladder. Some that we're playing, some that we're playing against, some that have been moving up into the tier 1s and the tier 2s of the world. And so, first off, let's go with you, Drunken. We got some mono green that you've been looking at, right? So why don't you talk about that?
So I've been playing this, and I've been playing against it, and really. What we're trying to discuss here is like how the meta is shifted right now, and like what we're seeing in the meta, and like how like something like this entering the meta essentially affects the other meta, right? Like what decks does it push out? What decks does it bring in? Like how does it change your main boards like when you're playing the game? And so this is a perfect example of like this deck. This mono green deck, it is popular in Explorer because it was popular in Pioneer, and it's essentially like a mirror of Pioneer.
It's pretty close. It's missing like it's definitely missing whatchamacallit, Nykthos.
It is. Yeah, Nykthos would definitely make this a lot better.
It'd be crazy, right?
But like I've been seeing multiple decks online. There's like mono green Coco, and then there's mono green Stompy Ramp, and they're both really good. I've played them both. I played against them both. And really, this is showing and shining like how decks like this fight the meta. Like, for example, like the mono green Stompy deck I pulled off of the internet. I don't know where I got it from. It has like a whole bunch of stuff that like fights spirits or mono blue. You know, it has Carnage Tyrant in it. It has shifting Ceratops. And then for these Jund players that are playing a whole bunch of discard effects and like single target removal, it has Garruk's Harbinger, which is almost any single time I'm playing against a Jund deck, that's the first card they grab. They'll, out of anything, because the moment that hits the board, Jund has a real problem getting rid of it. They do have red damage spells, but it's just like this deck has been incredible. And it's like, and although it like plays really good against some decks, I've also noticed it does really bad against other decks. And when I've been playing other decks, I've been playing against it. I beat it. I've lost. So yeah, you guys have any questions?
Like what? I guess you kind of like already kind of like dived in a little bit on the bullet points of the deck, but like what is this deck like good against?
It's really good against mono blue. I've noticed, whether that's spirits or old fashioned mono blue. It's just like the moment that, and depending on, it always depends on how well the other person fares in the beginning with their opening hand and stuff.
Yeah.
But you can get shifting Ceratops out on turn 3, and I've just had instant scoops. Almost every time I play shifting Ceratops against someone that's playing mono blue, it's just like an instant scoop because they can't do anything.
Yeah, it's got reach.
They can't do a single thing with that. Exactly. Reach. I mean, they can't even block it.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And then I've also noticed the same thing with Garruk's Harbinger. Like as soon as I get that on the board, I'm playing any kind of weird like black deck. I've seen people instant scoop on that because this card is just so good. Because they can't single target removal, and then the moment it hits them, you start getting more cards off the top of your library. And that's like one thing I've noticed with this deck that's so good is that like there's so much card draw in it in both versions. With the Great Henge and the other one, it has a Kiora, the Coco version. So yeah, I'm really liking it a lot.
Oh my god! I inhaled some habanero salt.
Sounds incredible. And then what is it bad against? It's bad against a lot of shit. Honestly, it's bad against control. Like control can beat this shit up pretty bad.
Yeah.
White. There's been some other decks. I think the mono red aggro outpaces this thing, or like blue red can outpace this thing. So it just depends. Like this deck can run really good against both those things, but I think like generally those will outpace it. Oh, Life Gain destroys this deck. Yeah, Life Gain is like, a tough deck, man.
You mean like Angels? Yeah, Angels are probably like they're tier 1 in Explorer for sure. Yeah, that's a tough one.
And cool. Just the caveat: this is an Explorer deck.
Yeah,
I don't know how it fares in Historic. I don't think it's as good at all in Historic, but in Explorer, it's pretty good. I think it's definitely, if it's not tier 1, it's tier 1.5 or whatever.
Nice.
So, okay, so you said like what it's good against, what it's bad against, but what do you think? Like, do you think this deck will last like going into the future? Do you think this is something we can see?
I think absolutely, especially as Hoshi said, when we eventually get Nykthos, because we will. This deck will just that'll elevate this deck significantly, because if you look at the mirror, which is Pioneer, this is like one of the top decks on Pioneer. So I really don't see this going away. But I will say, like, if you're gonna build it, it's very specific. It's got a shit ton of rares in either version, any version you play. The easiest point of entry is probably Coco, because Coco is a card you can utilize throughout multiple decks.
Yeah.
Right? Even though it's a mono deck, it still has a bunch of rare lands in it, and like almost every single card in it, besides the Llanowar Elves and the Elvish Mystic, which is the only new inclusion in this deck, is a rare or a mythic rare.
Yeah,
so
this is Gucci.
It really is. Yeah. I'm just lucky because I always I do really, even though I talk about like mid-range and like a lot of black decks, I love Green Stompy. Yes, I love Gruul decks. So I had a lot of these cards already.
Timmer.
Yeah.
Timmer.
Yep.
Timmer Stomp. I like it too.
What do you guys, have you played against it? Have you played it?
No, I haven't played it. I've definitely played against it. Okay. I haven't played against Shifting Triceratops though. I feel like that card would be really good, because when I played against the green with the spirits, I just fucking smacked them. They couldn't do anything. You can just counter their big plays, and it slows them down too much to where they can't catch up. So yeah, the Ceratops though, that'd be brutal. I could see that really ending the spirits deck at least. But it looks fun for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the old school cards, man. The Carnage Tyrant, coming back, dude. I haven't seen that since fucking Sultai.
Yeah, and the Shifting. Yeah, those are some old cards for sure. some boomer stuff.
Yeah, that's what I like to see. I love this deck. I actually have like my version and mono green elves built, but I'm just like waiting to fire the trigger on the wild cards. It's like
it's a tough one. But you did fire off some on Jund, I take it, right? You ready to talk about Jund?
Yeah.
All right, Apollo, take it away. So Boomer Jund. First of all, what the fuck is Boomer Jund, dude?
So Boomer Jund is like a fucking a meme generated thing out there on the internet. So for us old fuckers, right, who played old school fire magic, let me tell you something. Back in my day, cards costed 6 mana. You know, like
so
Boomer John is based. Boomer John is based on an old style modern way of playing Jund, playing very fair magic. It's extremely efficient at removal, attrition, sticking down threats, and then just grinding out your opponent for the win. So there's like 2 different versions. There's Zoomer Jund and Boomer Jund. So, you know, the Zoomer plays like 3 mana or less because, you know, the kids, like, they can't. 6 mana, that's a shitty card. So
they ain't got time for that.
Yeah, they ain't got time for that. They got to get out of there dead ass. No cap. No. So, yeah, Boomer Jund. Boomer Jund is a very old school way of playing one of the most powerful mid-range decks in all of Magic's history. So with Tarmogoyf being out, I was like adamant about making this fucking deck. I saw like a deck list that was popping up that was using like a couple cards. So, you know, I kind of took some other ideas, combined it with my own, and this is the list that I came up with. I have been also seeing it around a lot because, you know, again, I think people are just like they want that modern Jund feel again. So with Tarmogoyf, I think that's like a way to do that. So yeah, that's the deck. Is there any questions you guys got? Or
yeah, I love this. I want to say, first of all, I call this like Jund good stuff, man, because it's just a whole bunch of good ass stuff in here, you know, like random shit that works well together. But yeah, so you've been playing this in what, best of 1 or best of 3?
Best of 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think this is like too well positioned for best of 1. I think it's just too quick. The whole point of Jund is it's extremely powerful in sideboard as well. So I think like exclusively this has to be played best of 3. I could be wrong, but I think it performs better in best of 3.
Got it. Yeah, I agree with that. So what's the new addition here? Like what about Historic Anthology, Explorer Anthology made this deck of a new viable thing?
So like my initial list, like Tarmogoyf, obviously, right? Like Tarmogoyf is the whole reason for this deck. But my initial deck, like my first like iteration was like Chandra, Vraska, you know, just a bunch of like Thoughtseize, Inquisition, Fatal Pushes, Seasoned Pyromancers. But then I thought that I felt like that was like a little bit too fair in the sense of too slow, right? Like, so I needed to add some more gas. And luckily, Alchemy gave us something in the form of Hourglass Coven, which even though I run a 1 of, this card is fucking powerful, man.
Love it.
Yeah. Kalitas also coming out. That card also made this deck happen.
Yeah.
This card is just so fucking good. Like, again, I only run 1. Before I used to run 2 or 3. But I think like just the 1 of is really good.
You also got Molten Impact.
It's just like threat after threat, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this looks incredible, man. This is like, I've been playing one that I grabbed off of this guy in our Discord called S'mores and Bacon, and his is a little different. This one looks really good. This looks like really tuned up for best of 3. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's been doing really well. I guess like a couple like other key mentions is Riveteer's Charm. That card is just so fucking good, man. Like getting like Ancestral Recall, like essentially like exiling the top 3 and being able to play them like at the end. And then like this, the modes on it are so good because even if we like use our removal, forcing our opponent to sacrifice a Teferi is like pretty relevant, right? Or even just getting that card draw. And then the last one is Minsk and Boo, Timeless Heroes. Like I didn't even
realize this was a card.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw someone like play it on YouTube, and I was like, "What the fuck is this fucking card, man?" This card just goes over the top.
It's like, from the garbage set that no good cards came out of. You know, the one that we were all forced to have for our stupid what is it, the tier list thing that they do. Man, what do they call that thing?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The progression. thing that you get that's in like every game now. The season pass, right? Yeah, and this is like by far the worst season pass I think that I've ever seen them do, right? Because of this set, right? This is the first one I haven't bought, I think, since they came out, because most of the time they're a good deal, but like every time I get one of these stupid packs, you know, I'm like grumble.
Yeah, it's bad.
But this card actually seems pretty good. This is one of the very few cards in that set where I'm like, oh, this is a cool card. You know,
yeah, it's good. It just, the little hamster just keeps getting bigger, right? And then like in late game stalls, like we can just sack it, go right to the fucking face, draw a shit ton of fucking cards. Like I am like truly amazed of how good this card is. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to this deck, but I think like I've tried to craft it in a way to where like literally every card, even down to the mana base, like is really important. Like even the Hive is really good. Den of the Bugbear is really good. And then the sideboard, typically people build sideboards with like 3 ofs, 2 ofs, 4 ofs. I just wanted to like just trim some fat and add the things that I need. So
nice.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah. So, oh, sorry. Do you have something, Hoshi?
No, go on.
Dude, this is, if you're planning on building this, you know, if you want to see any of these decks, they're all on our Aether Hub, or you can go to our Discord. We generally post a lot, all of our decks there. But yeah, we do have an Aether Hub page with all these decks on it. And anyway, so this looks fucking expensive, dude. This is even worse than the mono green deck, because literally every land in there besides your one mountain and one swamp is a rare, and every other single card in here is a rare or a mythic rare.
I think the only ones that aren't is Riveteer's Charm and like Fatal Push. That's like literally it. Everything else,
incredible, dude. Yeah, this is a pretty costly deck. So this is like, that brings me to this one more question. Do you see this lasting in Explorer? This is Explorer or Historic?
Historic.
It's Historic. Yeah.
Okay, so do you see this last? Yeah, that's right. It's got the fucking
Minskin Boo. Yeah.
So do you see this lasting in Historic? Like, do you like, this is such, there's so much cost here. Is it worth building? Do you see it lasting?
I do, actually. Okay. As we go further back in time, this deck is only going to get more fine-tuned. A lot of like what you see in the deck, like where I have 2 ofs, 1 ofs and all that, a lot of that can get replaced by having Bolt or having Bob or, you know, having Liliana the Veil. Like there's just so many cards that are from the Boomer Jund version in Modern that can be translated really well in this deck. So as we go further back, this deck is only going to get better, I think. Now, it is a hefty cost. Hopefully, in your guys' Magic career, you've like accumulated some of these cards at least, because it's expensive. I mean, and trust me, I want that swamp and I want that mountain out of there. I want them out of there, but because what's it called exists, like you have to have basics, right? Like what's that?
Have
land
to.
Destruction land?
I was playing that big red tech today. And it runs the cleansing wildfire and field of ruin and stuff. And if I find out that like if they're playing 3 colors, you know, I immediately target their lands with it. I'm like, because you can ramp off of that card in that deck. You can target your indestructible land. It ramps you a red card and you draw one. So that's incredible value. But when I see those decks, I'm like, it's worth a shot to try and see if they don't got them, they don't got the basics. And if they don't have it, they're done. That's it. It's game over for them, you know? So yeah, you have to run a couple. But like I think what Drunken mentioned too about this deck, as far as crafting it goes, it's good stuff, right? So these cards are not, it's not like crafting an elf deck or the spirits deck where you're really buying into that archetype. And if they ban something in that deck, you're fucked, right? You lose everything. In this deck, like if they ban one card, like you just replace it with something else that's good, you know, and the deck continues on. So I think like crafting these cards is, you're really not taking much of a risk in doing that because all of these cards belong in other decks, right?
Absolutely. So, good point.
So yeah, it's good. I like it.
And so what is it good against? What is it bad against?
This might sound a little cocky. It's literally good against everything except for blue-white control, but you have to have a good pilot, right? Like, so you really need to know the meta. You really need to know like what your opponent is doing. You can't just like buy this deck and, you know, or craft this deck and then expect to just win games. You have to have a really good knowledge of what your opponent's doing, because that's what this is. It's trying to win through attrition, the war of attrition. Like, so if you know what your opponent's doing, what to kill, when to kill it, how to kill it, which card to kill it with, like that is completely relevant. Because I've had many games where if I didn't use the correct card, it actually could have like made me lose. Like, do I use Riveteer's Charm to like do an ancestral recall, or do I use it to force them to kill their planeswalker, or do I use like some of my sideboard cards to kill their planeswalker? Like, there's like a million avenues, right? Like, so it is good. It can attack every single deck minus blue-white control. The blue-white control is a really tough matchup. It can win, but it's insanely fucking hard. Like, they just play that game of attrition better than this deck. Mid-range typically is usually bad against control, though, right? Like, so
it's a lot
tough
of
matchup.
It's a lot of the kill spells and stuff just are really kind of go dead against it, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I have one against blue-white control, but it's fucking stressful. It's really hard, and it's like I'm taking longer than they are because it's like, fuck, dude, I hope this fucking resolves. Or
please don't record any games like
dude,
that.
Dude, I had a literal game
9-hour game,
literally every single turn he played another Teferi. I was like, how do you have fucking all 4 Teferis? I like kill it, and I'm like,
quit.
okay, good, okay, I think I can stabilize. And it's like, I'm back from the fucking dead. I'm like, oh no,
Let's slow this down.
Besides maybe like green white scrying card, that sounds like my personal hell right there.
Absolutely.
You know what?
But yeah.
So a deck that this seems like that it wouldn't fare well against, I'm curious if you played against it, is Zoomer Jun, because I don't see a lot of exile graveyard effects in here. So and like Zoomer Jun like seems like it would target this pretty good. I don't know. Have you played against it?
So Zoomer Jun, the idea is like to use like Luris and really cheap and like effective spells using like Dreadhorde Arcanist. And yeah, it is a very powerful deck. It does things faster than we do. But like, if you can see in the sideboard, I do have ways. There's that new card that we all shit on from Alchemy that has the Specialize.
Oh, God.
And then the artifact Hearse or whatever, the vehicle Hearse. That card is really
that card's
good.
really good. Yeah.
So I have won games against Zoomer Jund, like utilizing that, like eating up their graveyard. Yeah. It is tough though. Like, it is tough. Like, the idea is to just try to cut them out of their resources and then stick down a threat that they have to answer, because they can't block it effectively. And, you know, like Tarmogoyf, for example, is usually hitting for 4, 5, or 6 because they dump their graveyard. So it just helps us out in the long run. It's not like a perfect match, but it's definitely tough, but it can win for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say like combo decks look like they would you'd have a problem against them, like the Dragon Storm or something like that would probably like you really don't have
Best of 3 though, those are, you don't see those too often. That's the thing.
Yeah, it just seems like you don't have a way of really like interacting with those, but
that's a good point, because they don't really care about what anyone's doing. So like, it's hard for me to target them. Yeah,
they're like, please just don't kill me fast, right? So I can do my thing.
Yeah. Like that, like the thing like I'm stuck on with this deck right now is the Inquisitions, because Inquisition would really fuck up combo. Thoughtseize is obviously really great, but Inquisition would stop them, and I really want 4 of, but I don't know what else I can trim. So that's what I'm kind of stuck on.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on this one?
I like it a lot.
Yeah. Seems fun. Seems grindy. All right. Well, last was my choice, which was this is an Explorer deck, and it is Boros. It's Boros aggro, and this was the first deck that I crafted when the anthologies dropped, because I was pretty excited. I just like Boros. I feel like it's one of those underdogs that I root for all the time, and they got the favorite Hoplite which is a one drop, and that's one of the main things I feel like the Boros deck was missing, was they didn't have any strong one drops. They had Soul Scar Mage, which really I feel like doesn't even really fit that well in this deck. I guess it's a replacement.
It does?
I guess it's a replacement for a Monetary Swift Spear.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a kind of better, kind of worse version of Monetary Swift Spear. So yeah, so when Favorite Hoplite came out, I immediately crafted it, and
Nice.
it's good. You know, it is a glass cannon deck. Favorite Hoplite, if you don't know what that card is, it's a one drop human soldier with heroic. So whenever you target him, he gets +1/+1, and any damage dealt to him is prevented on that turn. No combat damage, spell damage, whatever, it's all prevented. So yeah, he's a pretty good card. And then that we also got some other stuff like Titan Strength, and it's not in this version that you put up, but it was
Rage.
the teamer battle rage,
Yeah.
which is double strike and furious, so it gets trample and all of that. And so yeah, those are some pretty fun spells that got added to it. So nothing super crazy, but the deck did definitely get better with the addition of that one drop. It made it a little bit faster. I feel like this deck didn't change that much, but it got stronger. So you see, I think it's solid upper tier 2. I don't think this is a tier 1 deck quite yet. If they gave it Swift Spear, I think this would be a tier 1 deck for sure. But right now it's like kind of hovering right up around there, and you just feel like those glass cannon games, you know, where you just feel unstoppable in some games where you're like, you can't kill my stuff and it's getting bigger, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna patch your face in. And then there's other games where you're like, fuck, oh no, they killed my thing, and that's it, and now I just have a bunch of spells in my hand, you know. So I like this deck. I just kind of wish it was a little bit more exciting, but it is something that you're going to see a lot. I've run into this quite a bit in the Explorer meta, and it's always a gamble. Do they have God's Willing? Like, can I take out their thing? You know, do they have the protection, or are they going full aggro and I have no way of like killing their stuff at that time, and then they could kill you super quick with this deck. So what do you guys think about the new Boros deck though? I don't have a lot to say about it. It's very similar to the old one.
Apollo.
I guess I want to bring up, do you think Chain to the Rocks would be fucking good for this deck?
Chain Rocks is a pretty sweet card. It's not in, we don't have it yet.
We don't have it.
Yeah, but do you think it would be like a good addition? Like, would that help out this deck at all?
I don't think so.
If in a
Or
best
does
of
it need to
3
be a glass
scenario,
cannon?
Yeah, like for sideboard, sure.
yeah,
But it doesn't target your stuff, you know. Like the best removal that this deck has is the rage card, which how am I not seeing that in here?
it's not in here, I don't think.
What kind of idiot? Oh yeah, I don't like this version of this. Why would you even run Soul Scar Mage without that card? I can't. Reckless Rage, where it targets yours and it deals damage. Like, that one's great because you get the effect out of it. All these cards basically want you to target them with something.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
I guess then what is this deck like good against? Like, how does it attack the meta then?
Oh man, this deck is good against slow decks. I feel like dirtly decks are trying to like ramp or whatever that don't have a ton of interaction. Those decks are it's really good against those because you can just kill them like turn 3. If you get the right combo, this it's almost like a slot machine with this deck too. Because you're doing the battle cards, the cantrips, so when you get those cantrip thing, and then you just you double strike them to death like real quick, it's just super powerful in like certain times. Other times I feel like it can be good against removal heavy decks too, but you have to play it right. You have to recognize your opponent is somebody like a Jund player or something like that, and you have to hold back a little bit and say, do I have my God's Willings? Do I have my protection in hand? And if I do, it's not worth going fast. Just wait, drop, make sure you have your protection, and then whenever you protect them too, they get bigger. So if you can time it and play it right, like I've done that before against, you know, like Rakdos and stuff like that, where they just haven't been able to kill my thing. And by the time it's, you know, I'm targeting it, growing it bigger. I feel like Control can be a hard matchup sometimes against this deck. Once again, it's how fast are they, you know, and what kind of draw did you get? I feel like this deck is inconsistent. Is one of my main gripes with it, is like sometimes it's just, you know, Kamehameha glass cannon, you're dead, and then other times you're like, fuck, I need more creatures, or fuck, where are my spells, you know? Like I don't have them. Yeah, so I feel like that the deck's like worst enemy is itself. It's really like it doesn't have too many bad matchups. I can think maybe Angels are tough against this deck if they can stabilize and get some like solid life gain in there, and you like, you know, it's too late. Like that deck is really good.
It is.
And this deck has a hard time like pushing through that sometimes. It's weird. It's hard to say what is a like particularly bad matchup with it, because the deck just varies so much in the way that it plays.
I have played something similar to this. Like I actually played Boros before the set came out. Like I was already playing Boros, and then the set came out. I played something very similar to this. And yeah, you can win 10 straight games and play a different deck every single time. And then you can lose 10 straight games and play a different deck every single time. Yeah. And like, yeah, the inconsistency it's real here, you know, where like you could, you know, if you're lucky, you can make it all the way to Mythic with this deck, no problem. But then like, if you're unlucky, then you'll just fucking stay at the bottom of Platinum constantly. Right. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said what it's good against, what it's bad against. Like the price of entry on this deck is really low relative to what we were talking about.
Absolutely.
It's like, it's mostly the rares all exist in the lands, and those are always a good investment.
Yeah. This one's got the Soul Scar Mage and the Dreadhorde Arcanist, and I think those are
good cards.
They are good cards. This one's not running Feather either. I think Feather is good to have like 1-2 of. I wouldn't go overboard with Feather in these decks. There's a lot of different variations to this. The other one that I haven't seen in here that I've been a huge fan of playing is Angel Fire Ignition. I don't know if you guys have seen that card. They get +2 counters. They get Trample, Double Strike, and Indestructible, and Vigilance.
How much does it cost?
It's 3 mana for the initial cost of it. It's a sorcery, but then it has Flashback for 4 in the graveyard. And dude, that card, because it gives you lifelink, is and Double Strike, like you gain and Trample, so they can't like, you know, fake out your block or whatever. You're getting that life, you know, and like against red or some deck where you're just like about to die, that card has come in clutch more than I feel like any other card that I've had in the deck.
I think this one that we're looking at, it looks like way more ultra aggressive because it only runs 18 lands. So if you look at it, there's not a single card over. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely run decks that run 18 lands before, and it works when the top of your curve is 2 mana, and majority of it is just 1 mana spells. You know, it's definitely very doable.
Yeah, the Arcanist is super important in this deck.
Yeah,
in this one, in this version of it, where like you need to get that recast from the Arcanist, because if you're not getting any lands, like your cantrips don't fucking matter if you can't cast your spells. So that's definitely one of the hindrances of this deck. It's interesting. There's quite a few different builds of this out there, and I love it. I love Boros. I love the aggressiveness of it, but beware, you know, like you're gonna have some bad games with this deck, you know, and you're gonna have the high highs are great and the low lows are not. You know, this one
for sure.
Yeah, but you really got to think about your lines of play and like what your opponent is playing. Your deck is your own worst enemy in this one. You really got to like think about like, you know, the possibilities of what you might draw into, if it's worth it to do the cantrip and stuff. So like, it takes some getting used to this deck. You know, it seems kind of like a dummy deck, but there really are some you can fuck up real bad with this thing and get yourself killed.
Yeah, you get a little overzealous with what's that one dude, the double striker. That card is so good, but like people Illuminator Virtuoso.
Yep.
Yeah, whenever I run against it, people immediately like they get it out there, they try and start pumping it up. You're like, okay,
dead.
I'm gonna fatal push that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're playing against a deck that's heavy removal like that, like you don't want to dump everything into one. You want to diversify or like try and get those protection spells and stuff. And yeah, so it's you got to take care of your little guys. You know, it's Voltron, right? That's what you're doing. You're Voltroning these guys, which I'm a huge fan of. Decks that do that, but. Yeah, in this meta, especially in historic, where there's a lot of single target removal and stuff, it could be a tough deck to pilot. But
this card dies to literally any kind of removal. Like if you play it on turn 2, it dies to that land that deals 1 damage. It dies to anything. You know, so
absolutely. Yeah, but yeah, Favored Hoplite has been great, especially in creature matchups, like against mono green or mono red or something like that. That card is insane. They just can't do anything against it. It's just like it's basically indestructible, you know. So it's been fun. I gave it its go for a while, but the other problem that I really have with this deck is I get tired of it pretty quick. I think it's just like the adrenaline rush of like the highs and lows of this deck, you know, like I'm just like, okay, I need a break. Exactly. It's like, I feel like it's like I'm doing cocaine while I'm playing this deck, you know, like I'm just like, I am done. I'm done with this thing for a while, you know, and then a little time will go by and I'm like, I need some more of that. I gotta get some more of that back in my veins or whatever, you know. So yeah, it's fun, but it runs its course pretty quick, but the buy-in isn't too bad either, so that's the good.
It's good. It's good buy-in. It has I'll say too, like it has a lot of trample, so it has a lot of evasion, you know, which is really good with a deck like this, you know, when you're playing against mid-range stuff. If they don't have the removal spells or Gruul or something like that, then you can just stomp over them.
Or the stupid cat where they're like, oh, well, I can just block and then sack it or whatever. And you're like, well, I'm just going to trample right fucking through that. So I don't care. Yep. That's always a good feeling.
I love it.
Yeah. Screw your stupid kitty. Your dumb little block technique does not work.
I'm going to sack and respond. So I'm going to trample to that response.
Exactly. Well, that didn't do nothing. So I like when they do it anyways. You're like, okay.
Max damage.
And then they're like clicking on everything. You're like, it has trample, you fuck. Like, learn how to play the game.
Yeah, he's literally glowing with trample right now. The game, Arena makes it pretty easy to know. So it's cool. Yeah, I feel like mine was kind of the lamest out of these. I wasn't, I was very excited about it at first, but then like after I played, I was like, it's pretty much the same deck. You know, it's a little bit stronger. I mean, it is relatively new to the meta though, right? Like, do you guys run across this a lot? I know I do, right? Yeah. I was playing it before. I was playing it before the Hoplite came out, and so it was not as good. It was like tier 3, probably at that time, you know. So it definitely jumped up a tier from favorite Hoplite. So yeah, it's a viable deck now for sure.
Do you see people like mainboarding anything in against this deck, like because I don't think so. I think like just normal removal kind of works, and this is one of those decks where you might get lucky with the removal against it. If they're playing well and they protect their creatures, there really isn't much you can do about it. You know, they're just gonna punch you in the face really hard and you might die. It's like it's when you're playing against them, it's just like you said, any removal basically works against this deck. So I don't know. I've lost and won with this deck turn 3.
Yeah.
I've lost to it on turn 3 and won on turn 3.
Yeah, absolutely. The deck is a slot machine, man. It is. It's great though when you get your cantrip, and then you're like, am I gonna win? Oh, what?
Did we lose him?
Frozen and happy.
I'm like, I've definitely.
Yeah, you're a robot in the heart.
Oh, that's weird. I've definitely had it where I've been like, where I've been like, well, let's just attack in and see what happens. And then I'm like, cantrip, and then I'm like, oh, he's getting bigger, cantrip, oh, he's getting bigger. And then it's like, yay, he's dead. Like you never know.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's just, you just roll that slot machine to fate, to finish him off. It's fun. But yeah, there's a bunch of other, we talked about spirits and stuff last week too, which is, I mean, in Butler or Apollo did a video on it too. It's just incredibly powerful. That was one that I wanted to talk about, but it's tier 1. That is like tier 1. I feel like that is like top tier deck right now. It's crazy powerful.
Is spirits played in historic, or is it
I think it was. I want to take a quick look. I pulled up some of the metas in here. So here's best of 1, and this is for Explorer.
Should be Explorer.
Yeah,
okay.
and so we got spirits is rank 1 on the tier 1s, and then there's Rakdos Sack, Greasefang still up there, Angels, Mono Red of course, and then Turbo Titan. I believe that's the Gear Hulk thing that's going on. The what is it? Whatever.
This is a combo, right?
I guess so. I don't know what that is. And then
it's combo.
Yeah, and then there's Boros Heroic right there, right underneath it, and then there's the mono green that you talked about. Those two are right next to each other. Gruul's still in there, Feather right around there. Oh no, there's the Gear Hulk one, the Creativity tier 2, and then the Rakdos midrange. Oh, this is interesting. We didn't talk about this, about the decks that kind of got pushed out of the meta from this. And I feel like Fight Rigging is really one of those where it's still good, but it is taking kind of a hit, I feel like, from the other decks got stronger and it stayed the exact same. So I don't know. And then Tireless Tracker, the Golgari mid-range and Abzan mid-range are in there. Those are fun. I really like those, especially with the Rhino and stuff that's come in. And so there's a good amount of new decks that popped up, especially in the tier 2 range. Huge amount in the tier 2 range. And then tier 1 is also had some big changes. And then,
which is really important, honestly, because just because you're tier 1 doesn't mean you can't constantly lose to a specific tier 2 style deck, right? Because you can't fight every single kind of deck.
Absolutely.
So like these are really important because generally I think with these tier 2 decks, they don't tend to be as good against as many decks, but they'll be really good against certain decks. And like where they shine is like, so if something took over tier 1 like mono blue spirits, and then you're playing mono green aggro that fights mono blue spirits, and chances are you're going to play, you're going to be winning a lot more games.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And then I think historic meta has almost changed, not at all, at least especially in tier 1. It's exactly the same as it was before the anthologies. The
artifacts,
that's tier 2. But
tier 2.
That one popped up the most. The artifacts is the only one that is like a new entry into the top echelon, of decks around here, and it's solid, right? It is right up there at 8. Rank 8, and so that's a huge boost. These are established decks that have been in there for a while, except for the Wizards one. That's kind of one where I took a break from historic and came back and was like, what is this deck?
It's pretty good.
What is killing me right now? This is really good.
It's a good deck.
It is. It's number 1 right now. Pretty crazy. And then let's see, Greasefang, I guess aggro is up there too, Enchantress of course, Reanimator, Goblins, all that stuff. Mono red burn, there we go. So there's the burn.
Go eat shit, you fucking complaining little baby.
I know, it's down at 15. Oh no. But mono red aggro is number 4. So mono red up there, but the burn one, the burn is only in the top 15, I guess. And then there's Boros burn, but so it's still pretty much exactly the same, which is kind of disappointing. I feel like most of the other anthologies have shook up the metagame a little bit more. But
I agree.
I guess it's harder to do that in historic just because there's so much in historic. Explorer is more of a thin meta, I guess, than the other ones are. So I don't know. Any last words you guys got about the meta or these decks or anything?
No, I don't.
You're just making silly faces over there.
You're just like tuned out.
I'm just waiting.
Okay.
No, I don't. I mean, I guess I'm on the fence of being hopeful. I do think the meta is going to change, but you know, like with fighting games, like with anything that's competitive, like people stick with the tiers, right? They stick with it. I mean, they are good, right? But it takes someone piloting something that they truly feel is going to be good, and to change that meta. And as we keep going back in time, as we keep getting more cards, even though like these anthologies are considered like lackluster, 1 or 2 cards can help make another deck come up, and then that one deck forces other decks to have answers and change the way they play, or even drop out, you know? So, I'm hopeful. Nice. I do think it's going to change a little bit, but I do think it's going to change.
Nice.
Cool. Well, looks like we're ready to move into combat then. So, let's go.
Dorkish Combat!
And Combat is the horseshit card game hosted by Drunken Dork.
What is up, everyone? This is a horseshit card game, and I am not changing it this week. I kind of like what we did the last time, even though you guys didn't do one last time. You dropped the ball hard.
Yeah, whoopsie.
All right?
Whoopsie.
And I kind of like what we... Yeah, all right. Okay, we heard you. So anyway, last time we did this, we did like a 20 question style, and I kind of like that. So I'm gonna do that again this time. We're not gonna be doing this every time. I just you got it so quickly. It kind of frustrated me. I think you got it in like 4 questions.
Okay.
So I'm hoping this one will be a little harder. I do want you guys to win. I don't want to stump you, but I just want it to be a little more challenging.
Okay.
Right? So we're gonna do it as 10 questions. You have 10 questions this time. Last time you got in 3, 4, 5, something like that. So this should be, it's double the amount. All right, and let's start it off. You guys, you choose who goes first or whatever.
Okay, Paulo, go.
All right. Well, what are we doing?
So you're guessing like 20, it's like 20 questions, right?
It's 20 questions. So you're trying to guess a card. A magic card.
Yeah, so you just have to ask questions.
I'll give you
the
first
answer with yes or no. You can answer with yes or no question. Yeah.
Do you not remember this from 2 weeks ago?
We just did this.
Well, I do, but you had like an incentive, like it was like a top 20 or.
Okay, so this will be in on Arena. That is.
It's a card on Arena. Okay. Good.
All right, let's play it on Arena.
If you're so far away in 10 questions, then, you know, we'll say 10 questions, you guys get a fucking golden star happy face, all right? In 20 questions, you get a C-.
Okay.
All right, is it a creature?
No.
Okay, is it a land?
No.
Is it blue?
No.
Is it an instant?
No. Guys are on I mean, you have a bunch of no's, so it's not a land, it's not an instant, it's not a creature, and it's not blue.
Okay.
Is it an enchantment?
No.
Is it an artifact?
No.
It's got to be a sorcery
no.
then. It's got to be a sorcery.
Or a planeswalker.
Okay.
Is it a planeswalker?
No.
Is it a sorcery?
Yes. That is 8 questions.
Literally the last like archetype that it could possibly be. I don't even know what else it could have been besides that. All right.
Well, so it's like an alley-oop situation. I have to literally give the clue for Hoshi to
all right,
answer.
you're not going to get it in 10, so go to 20. Yeah, because the moment you guess a card, if you get it wrong, you can't like
you miss that one. So. Yeah, so it's not. It's
you don't get the gold star happy face.
It's not blue, and it's a sorcery, so we know that.
Is it black?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay. Oh man. Is it less than 2 mana?
No.
Okay.
Got 10 questions there, so so long, gold star happy face.
Alright.
So it's more than 2.
Sorcery. Oof.
Does it
That's tough.
target a creature?
Yes.
Okay.
That's 11.
Man, let's see. It's an arena. Oh man, like, what, can I ask about sets? I guess.
Are you looking at cards online, man?
No, I'm not.
He's like typing. You're like
cheating over there.
Clack, clack, clack.
No. Oh man. Okay. Is it? Man, I almost want to ask about a set or something. Is it a paper? Is it a digital card only?
No. That's
Okay.
12.
All right.
Does it cost 3 mana?
No.
Okay, so it's over 4. I got that so far. Man, it's a sorcery.
Over 4 and it targets a creature.
It's over 4. It targets a creature. Kind of. It targets a creature? That's over 4.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's so just to make sure you guys aren't like caught off. It doesn't cost 3 mana. It doesn't cost 2 or less. So it's 4 or more.
Yeah, I got that. All right. All right, and it's a sorcery. Man, I don't even know what sorceries really run around there, and it's black. Is it only black?
Yes.
What do you mean, yes? So it doesn't have any other colors in it. Okay.
That's a hard question. Yes, technically, yes.
Okay.
By
Yes, technically.
it's like so.
What the fuck card is this?
You couldn't play it in a mono black commander deck. It is a black card though.
Okay. Interesting.
That's 13.
Yeah.
Big clue there.
Okay. That's a man. It's more than.
You guys gotta talk amongst each other. Like
So it's more than 3.
a lot of
so-
blank air here.
It's more than 3. It's technically black, but it's
No, it's more than 4. We know it's 4 or more.
No, 4 or more, yeah.
More than 3.
Yeah, it's 4 or more. We know that it's black. It could possibly have like a dual color
Yeah.
in the mana symbol. It just targets a creature. We know that. Fuck, dude. All right. Well, okay. Let's narrow it down. Is it white?
Wait, what?
What?
We just said it's black.
Because
it's black. What do you?
But you said like if it was in Commander, you couldn't play it in a mono black deck. So that means there is
No,
a
it
color
is a
identity.
black card. It is a black card.
So it probably has some other symbol in like the spell part of it, or whatever, or like a flashback or something like that. Cost.
Okay, so let me change the way I answer ask the question.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is it
Really?
on burial rights?
Are you asking if you get it wrong? You know.
Oh man.
If you get it wrong, then you lose.
Does it have flashback?
Yes.
Okay. Is the flashback cost have white in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
At 15 now.
Yeah. I'd
Is
say.
it on burial rights?
Yes, it is.
Alright.
Nice. Good job, you guys. That's 16 questions. You got it right.
All right. We didn't at least lose. All right. So that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was tough. That was way tougher than the last one. I feel
That
like.
Did you
was
like
really
it?
tough.
Was that fun?
Yeah,
Do you
that was
like that
fun.
one better than some of the other ones?
Yeah, that's good. It's
I
tough.
like that.
I hate that it was literally the last like card type that I don't know if there's any other card type that we didn't pick. At that
We like
point.
named everything.
Yeah. I don't think so. No. Yeah. You were like, yeah. you went
Planeswalkers,
to-
enchantments, artifacts, fucking instances.
Is it tribal?
Yeah. Is it a background? Is it? those aren't an arena. So at least it could have been that, I guess.
I didn't pick anything obscure. I figured this
Yeah.
one's a little bit harder. I don't remember what I picked last. It was a rare. It was in the top 20.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like you're bound to get it. This one's a little more obscure, but it's still a popular card. Right?
Yeah.
We see it all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
Good.
Yeah,
All right,
that was
good.
fun.
Good job, you guys.
I wonder how I haven't heard any feedback from anybody on this. So out there listening, are you guys like screaming at us while we're making these guesses, or like, I'm just curious. So let us know if you like this one or if you like the old format better or whatever. Because yeah, I like this one. I thought it was fun. All right, so let's move on to main phase 2.
Main phase 2.
All right, main phase 2 is going to be our drunken memoirs. But oh man, we are running a little long today. What do you guys think? Should we skip the memoirs?
Paul, it's up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want to do?
I mean, I did mine last time, so it'd be you two mentioning something at least.
Mine's kind
I'm
of
good to skip it today. We're going pretty long.
yeah, and mine's kind of long. And I'm kind of long-winded too when I start talking about when I start reminiscing about the past. Back
Totally.
in the
Back in my
glory
day.
days of my time when I was but a young spry boy,
Yeah.
very impressionable, walking into my magic shop. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, see, there you go. There
You
go.
guys are like, okay,
Boomer.
we'll skip it. Okay,
Okay,
yeah, all right. Good enough.
And step.
All right, well, that takes us into
Yeah.
end step, which is our comments, questions, concerns, or complaints, or whatever the hell we called it. Oh, yeah, you were supposed to have a soundbite for that, Apollo, which, yeah, whoopsie doopsie. I guess you could add it in.
Wait,
and
no,
post.
no, it's right here. You just got to press the button.
What? Okay.
Comments, questions, and concerns. There you go.
That's pretty good. I like that.
All right, not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do better, but
I mean, I can do another take.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So comments, questions, corrections, concerns,
Concerns, all the C's.
Justice League.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we have nothing this week.
Nothing. Come on, guys. I mean, we do have the sliver cards that need to be posted by yours truly, so we could take a look at that. That'd be fun. Other than that, all right. So we don't. got
Everyone
anything?
give Apollo shit in the comments, questions, corrections, concerns, whatever
Yeah.
about
Okay.
those sliver cards because we all want to see them.
Well, in that case,
Yeah.
we'll default back to our old segment for this. Do you guys have any major things going on outside of Magic or anything? Anything you guys want to
nope.
bring up? No, Paula.
Dude, my life is magic, bro.
Yeah, that's all I
all I
do.
do.
Magic and work. Yeah.
Okay, I know that you got a Steam Deck email. Drunken, did you get have you
Oh,
gotten
it
your
comes
Steam?
tomorrow. It's kind of great. Yeah. So I'm going out of town tomorrow, and it
So
comes
jealous.
tomorrow. So someone's definitely going to steal my Steam Deck. That's what's going to happen. It's going to go to my
no.
porch, and then someone's
Yeah.
going to take it.
my-
I did do something else. Too bad I'm not drinking this week because I made beer recently. I have it in a keg behind me.
Nice.
I'm just like I can't drink it because I got to go to work. So
Yeah.
that I have been doing that recently, and it's fun. I like making
That's cool.
good stuff, and it actually tastes good.
Man,
Apollo, you would really like it. It's like a super hoppy pale ale.
Oh, I would.
Yeah.
nice.
Dig them haps.
I've been checking my email daily. I'm like, is it?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Well, so with the Steam
Do I
Deck,
get it?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited to get it. They did. They ramped up production.
Yeah, I
So where you were fourth? I don't know.
I was
what, you were gonna
third,
get it.
I was third quarter, or whatever. So I was in the same quarter as you. You were just way before me in it.
Yeah. So I'd still be waiting a little bit. Probably a couple months, but you'll get it. You'll probably get it at the end.
I bought a bunch of Steam games in during the summer sale. I was like, these are gonna be so sweet to play on the Steam Deck, and I'm just sitting here with them in my library, where's my Steam Deck? I want to play them. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid Valve.
I'm
Get your
excited.
shit together. God damn it. Oh well, okay. Enough of me crying about Steam Deck. All right. I guess with that, we'll just move into our cleanup phase.
cleanup.
And cleanup is social media promo stuff where we're just talking about where you can get a hold of us, where you can see our stuff. We talk about Discord all the time. That is the main spot where you can interact with us. We have a bunch of channels on there, and we talk about news and all kinds of fun stuff on there. We post decks and and that's where you can post the comments, questions, concerns. We're also on all the podcast stuff out there. If there's a podcast streaming platform you could think of, we are probably on there. And then we do the YouTube show, and we've been coming out with more decks. We are actually doing it. I know we kept saying that, like, yeah, we're gonna do gameplays, and then it was just like nothing. So now we've got some coming out, and maybe Drunken will do one sometime too. That'd be cool.
If I get some time off of work, I absolutely will.
Yeah, I just record one on your phone, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have someone with their phone record me while I'm playing on my phone.
While you're in the toilet, just flushing noises in the background.
I'll see if my wife can get on the other side of the bathroom and record me while I'm pooping.
You're just in a public restroom. Yeah, this drunken dork. Oh god.
Someone's like taking a piss. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Coming in live. We're gonna play some games today.
Oh god, that's so gross and funny to me for some reason.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
All right, with that, we'll move into our discard phase.
Discard phase. Drink 'em up, boys.
Discard. This is it. This is the end of the show. This is where we just say our final goodbyes. Drunken, any last words?
No. Cheers, everyone. I'm glad to be back on the show again after missing a week.
Nice. Apollo.
Back in my day, we played
Oh
cards.
my god.
No.
Terrible.
No, nothing. Let's wrap this shit up, dude.
All right, nice, man. Yeah, so it's good having you back, Drunken, and it was good to hang out with you guys. So hopefully we catch you guys right back here on Mana Rant again next time. So, like always, cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Peace.
Like pounding a non-alcoholic beer.
Does it burn as bad? Do you get that sensation in the back of your throat? No.
What?
Does it feel?
Speak up.
Does it feel all tingly? Does it
Speak
feel
up,
tingly?
son.
That's what I want to know.
What deck are you playing on here? Zombies?
Which one? Oh, in the lower right? Yeah, that deck came back again. It's the machine gun one, and it's an explorer now. It's an explorer. And there's an explorer deck of it. It's fun, man. Like, you just throw a bunch of stuff in the graveyard, then you reanimate it with the.
I played against it.
Yeah, and you just you just ETB them to death. Bing, 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 bing.
Yeah, that's right.
It's one of those ones where there's not, if they kill your stuff, you're like, oh, whatever. It's coming back in some way. So, yeah, it's a fun deck. It's like definitely lower tier 2, tier 3, or something. 4. Yeah. It's fun. It's a fun deck for sure. Yeah, there's a ton of good stuff out now, man. Yeah, like you guys are saying, I've been like playing Arena every day, quite a bit. I love it, man.
It's great.
Which I've definitely been frustrated for a while with Arena. So, it's great. It's a great time to make content for it. That's for sure.
Who would have known that we love Magic?
Yeah, weird that it's like all we talk about and are obsessed with. And we've been playing forever. Yeah. Well, I guess we should probably talk about, we gotta talk about the